Inflation is basically the proposal that the bang of the Big Bang, the driving force behind the expansion, was this repulsive gravity as allowed by general relativity.
So if that is the beginning, if there was no time before that, then I don't know how to explain the fact that it was so special.
Beyond the vast expanse of our universe lies a mysterious realm that has captivated the human imagination for ages. Could there be parallel universes out there brimming with life and possibilities? It's not just a concept for sci-fi fans anymore. The theory of the multiverse is gaining traction in the scientific community. But with controversy surrounding the idea, many wonder if it's just a wild theory or grounded in fact. The vastness of our universe is staggering. Billions upon billions of galaxies with trillions of stars all spinning in space. But what lies beyond this incredible expanse? Could there be other dimensions beyond our own, with alternate realities and different versions of ourselves? From scientific research to bizarre occurrences, there are many clues that suggest the existence of parallel universes. So, are you ready to dive into the fascinating world of multiverses? Get ready to explore the top 15 signs throughout history that point to the possibility of parallel universes. From mind-bending theories to inexplicable phenomena, prepare to have your mind blown. Number 15. Eternal inflation and parallel universes. Around 13.7 billion years ago, the entire universe as we know it today was a minuscule singularity, smaller than a single atom. But then, in a colossal burst of energy known as the Big Bang, the universe exploded outward, expanding faster than the speed of light for a fraction of a second. This cosmic inflation caused the universe to grow to a mind-boggling 10 to the 26 power times its original size before it even began forming atoms, stars and galaxies. But that's not even the craziest part. Scientists believe that this process of inflation may have created not just one universe, but an infinite number of parallel universes as well. According to theoretical physicist Alexander Vilenkin, inflation is ongoing in other parts of the cosmos, creating new bubble universes that we can never reach because they're expanding faster than the speed of light. And here's where things get really wild. If we could somehow visit one of these bubble universes, it could be completely different from our own, with different physical laws and conditions that might make it completely uninhabitable. It's like a sci-fi story come to life, with an infinite number of parallel universes just waiting to be explored, even if we can never actually explore them. This picture of the universe, or multiverse as it is called, explains the long-standing mystery of why the constants of nature appear to be fine-tuned for the emergence of life, Vilenkin wrote. The reason is that intelligent observers exist only in those rare bubbles in which by pure chance the constants happen to be just right for life to evolve. The rest of the multiverse remains barren, but no one is there to complain about that. Vilenkin's theory suggests that in the vast expanse of bubble universes beyond our own, there is a possibility of other intelligent life forms existing. However, with each passing moment, the distance between us and these hypothetical beings grows larger, and we will never have the chance to meet them. Number 14. Quantum mechanics and parallel universes. Deep in the mysterious world of quantum mechanics, subatomic particles behave in strange and wondrous ways. Researchers have developed the concept of parallel universes based on the idea that in quantum mechanics, multiple states of existence for tiny particles are all possible at the same time. This is known as a wave function, and it encapsulates all of the potential possibilities. However, when we observe these particles, we only ever see one possible outcome. This is where the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics comes in, which states that we observe an outcome when the wave function collapses into a single reality. But there's another theory that proposes something completely mind-bending. The many worlds theory suggests that every time we observe one state or outcome, another world is created where a different quantum outcome becomes a reality. It's as if the universe branches out into a vast and ever-expanding tree of infinite possibilities, with each branch representing a separate reality. These alternate universes are separate from our own and unable to intersect. So while there may be countless versions of yourself living different lives, you'll never be aware of them because they exist in a completely different reality. Physicist Sean Carroll wrote in his book Something Deeply Hidden, Quantum Worlds and the Emergence of Space-Time, that the many worlds theory is the most daring approach to solving the perplexities of quantum mechanics. According to him, it is also the most direct theory, although it is not free from complications. One of the issues with the many worlds idea is that it cannot be proven false, which is an essential aspect of scientific thinking. Science journalist John Horgan contended in a Scientific American blog post that the inability to find evidence against a theory is detrimental to science's overall progress, since science advances through testing and experimentation. Number 13. If space is infinite, does that mean there are an infinite number of universes? Some scientists propose an alternate version of multiple universes, which suggests that if our universe goes on infinitely, there are only a limited number of ways that particles can arrange themselves as they spread across the infinite expanse of space. This means that eventually, certain particle types must repeat a specific arrangement, which could include arrangements as vast as entire galaxies and solar systems. In theory, this means that your life might be repeated somewhere else in the universe, down to the minutest details such as what you ate for breakfast yesterday. However, if the universe had a finite beginning, which is widely accepted by physicists, it is unlikely that an alternate version of you exists, according to astrophysicist Ethan Siegel. According to Siegel, the number of potential outcomes from particle interactions within a single universe approaches infinity at a faster rate than the number of universes that arises due to inflation. So what does this mean for you, Siegel wrote? It means it's up to you to make this universe count. Number 12. The London Hammer. Throughout history, there have been numerous instances where individuals have stumbled upon peculiar objects that they believe could be signs of a parallel universe crossing paths with our own. This notion resurfaced in 1936 when a hammer was discovered in London, Texas by a couple during a leisurely stroll. At first glance, one might think, big deal, it's just an old hammer. However, this hammer was unlike any other. It showed no signs of rust despite being quite old, and it was encased in rock dating back to the Cretaceous period, around 100 million years ago. Considering humans only appeared on the scene approximately 200,000 years ago, this discovery is quite perplexing. How did this hammer come into existence? Some people hypothesize that it could be a leftover from a parallel universe where humans developed eons before they did on our planet, or perhaps it traveled back in time. After being purchased by creationist Carl Bohr in 1983, the hammer became the center of attention. Bohr claimed that the artifact was a significant discovery that existed before the Great Flood, and that the atmospheric conditions of pre-flood Earth may have led to the development of giants. He used the hammer as the basis of speculation to support his theory. The Creation Evidence Museum, which Bohr runs, bought the hammer around that time and renamed it the London Artifact. While some people argue that the hammer came from an ancient parallel universe or travelled back in time, others note that it resembles typical American tools produced in the late 19th century. It seems that its design is similar to that of a miner's hammer. It's also possible that the artifact became encased in rock due to the highly soluble minerals in the ancient limestone forming a concretion around it, a common process that creates similar encrustations around fossils and other nuclei in a relatively short time. If you're curious and want to see the hammer for yourself, you can find it at the Creation Evidence Museum in Glen Rose, Texas. Number 11. Black holes. Black holes are one of the most fascinating mysteries of our universe. The first ever image of a black hole was captured in 2019, revealing a point in space that is so dense it creates an intense gravitational force. Black holes are points in space that are so dense they create deep gravity sinks. Beyond a certain region, not even light can escape the powerful tug of a black hole's gravity, and anything that ventures too close, be it star, planet or spacecraft, will be stretched and compressed like putty in a theoretical process aptly known as spaghettification. There are 4 types of black holes: stellar, intermediate, supermassive and miniature. The most commonly known way a black hole forms is by stellar death. As stars reach the ends of their lives, most will inflate, lose mass and then cool to form white dwarfs. But the largest of these fiery bodies, those at least 10 to 20 times as massive as our own Sun, are destined to become either super-dense neutron stars or so-called stellar mass black holes. Now let's dive into some fascinating science to understand how black holes could be evidence of parallel universes. Black holes have always been a mystery because anything we've sent out to study them never comes back. Most people believe that the object is destroyed when entering a black hole, but Stephen Hawking had a different theory. He believed that whatever enters a black hole comes out in another universe due to the law of conservation of mass. Even if an object is destroyed, traces of its presence would still be visible in hair-like images that outline its path into the black hole. However, Hawking noticed that these hairs were missing, indicating that the object has vanished from our universe entirely. According to Hawking, this is strong evidence that black holes could be transporting objects to another universe, proving that they aren't the inescapable prisons we once thought. Number 10. The mirror image universe. A new multiverse theory suggests that the universe began at the Big Bang, and on the opposite side of the Big Bang timeline, a universe existed that was the exact mirror image of our own, proposed by researchers from the Perimeter Institute for Theoretical Physics in Waterloo, Ontario. According to Neil Turok, a Perimeter Institute researcher, this means that the universe before the Big Bang is actually an image of the universe after the Big Bang. Everything, including protons, electrons, and even actions like cracking an egg, would be reversed. Antiprotons and positively charged electrons would make up atoms, and eggs would uncrack and make their way back inside chickens. Eventually, that universe would shrink down before expanding out into our own universe. In other words, both universes were created at the Big Bang and exploded simultaneously backward and forward in time. Number 9. The Blue Rock. Let's take a break from complex theories and dive into something as simple as a rock. But this isn't just any ordinary rock. It's a mysterious bright blue stone discovered by an archaeologist in Sierra Leone back in 1990. Upon further investigation, scientists were baffled to find that it didn't match anything on Earth and was determined to be extraterrestrial in origin. People who have held the stone describe it as otherworldly and unlike anything they've ever seen. It's been speculated that this stone, much like the London Hammer, is an artifact that travelled from a parallel universe to our own, making it an incredibly valuable item sought after by collectors. Number 8. The Double Slit Experiment. Ever heard of the double slit experiment? It's one of the most bizarre experiments in modern physics and cuts to the heart of the weirdness of quantum mechanics. Basically, waves that pass through two narrow parallel slits will form an interference pattern on a screen. This is true for all waves, whether they're light waves, water waves, or sound waves. But light isn't just a wave, it's also a particle called a photon. So what happens if you shoot a single photon at the double slits? Turns out, even though there's only one photon, it still forms an interference pattern. It's as if the photon travels through both slits simultaneously. In the 1920s, scientists conducted the double slit experiment, which provided strong indications of the existence of multiple parallel universes. Now imagine firing tennis balls through a single slit in a wall. The marks on the wall would align with the slit. However, if you added a second slit, two lines would appear on the wall. If you tried the same experiment with waves, the waves would go through both slits and create multiple lines on the wall. Now, if photons, tiny particles of light, behaved like tennis balls, they would also create two lines. But surprisingly, they created multiple lines like the waves did. Even when fired one at a time, they still created two sets of waves, which implies that each photon somehow traveled through both slits. When scientists tried to observe the photons, they went back to forming just two lines. This intriguing phenomenon suggests that parallel universes may be interacting with ours, but our current technology is not advanced enough to detect it. Number 7. The Taured Traveller. Imagine arriving at the airport, handing over your passport, and being told that your country of origin doesn't exist. That's exactly what happened to a man in 1954 when he arrived in Tokyo from a place called Taured, a country that didn't exist on any maps. Despite having a passport and bank statement from the non-existent country, the man vanished from a guarded hotel room while authorities held onto his documents. Some people believe that the man was from a parallel universe, where a different course of events led to the creation of Taured. It's a fascinating mystery that has yet to be solved, but it raises the question, could there be other parallel universes that we have yet to discover? Number 6. The Mandela Effect. In 2009, Fiona Broome coined the term Mandela Effect and launched a website to document her discovery of this strange phenomenon. While attending a conference, Broome mentioned to others that she vividly remembered former South African President Nelson Mandela dying in prison during the 1980s. However, as it turns out, Mandela actually passed away in 2013. When Broome discussed her memories with others, she found out that many people shared her recollection of his death, as well as his widow's speech. Broome was amazed that so many people could recall a non-existent event in such vivid detail. With the support of her book publisher, she created her website to explore the Mandela Effect and similar occurrences. If you watched Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, you probably remember the line, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" You may be shocked to learn then that the line actually began with the phrase, "magic mirror on the wall" instead. According to a theory based on quantum physics, the Mandela Effect may be explained by the existence of multiple parallel universes interacting with our own timeline. This could result in groups of people having the same memories due to alterations in the timeline caused by shifts between different realities. Some people believe that false memories may actually be true, but in a parallel universe. This could explain why so many people share the same memory that doesn't align with our own reality. Number 5. Cloud City. Back in October of 2015, people across China were bewildered by a bizarre and striking sight: a floating city suspended in the clouds above them. Multiple witnesses managed to capture photos and videos of the eerily specific cityscape, which appeared far too elaborate to have been man-made. As theories swirled, some posited that this strange occurrence could be proof of parallel universes, or even top-secret holographic technology. Before anyone could make sense of what they were seeing, it happened again in March of the following year, with yet more footage emerging. While skeptics have dismissed the phenomenon as nothing more than an optical illusion, many still believe that these floating cities offer tantalizing glimpses into alternate realities. Take a look at the picture and decide for yourself. Could these mysterious sky cities be the ultimate evidence of parallel universes? Number 4. The Large Hadron Collider. In 2015, scientists at the Large Hadron Collider embarked on a groundbreaking experiment to detect signs of parallel universes. The aim was to uncover evidence of dimensions beyond the visible three that make up our universe. While this may seem like something out of a sci-fi movie, the team was armed with a compelling theory. The collider could reveal particles that only exist in these alternate dimensions. If successful, it would be strong evidence for the existence of parallel universes that run alongside our own. These particles would behave similarly to those in our universe, but with much greater mass. Although it's all still theoretical, it's worth noting that many once theoretical ideas have become a reality. So who knows, perhaps it won't be long before we confirm the existence of other dimensions. Number 3. Backwards Universe. Back in 2020, NASA made a groundbreaking discovery that has the potential to change our understanding of the universe forever. A team of scientists from the Antarctic Impulsive Transient Antenna Project had been working on an experiment for a few years when they stumbled upon evidence of a parallel universe. The universe was drastically different from our own and appeared to have been created during the Big Bang. But that's not all they found. The particles detected by their cosmic ray experiment seemed to be moving in reverse, suggesting that this parallel universe operates with time flowing backwards. While the concept of parallel universes is often seen in science fiction, this discovery suggests that it may be closer to reality than we once thought. Number 2. Déjà vu. Have you ever felt like you've experienced something before, even though you know you haven't? It's a strange feeling, and it's called déjà vu. Scientists still can't fully understand why this happens to people all over the world, but some think it might have something to do with parallel universes. Imagine tuning into a radio station and only hearing one frequency at a time. Well, the parallel universes around us are all tuned to different frequencies. But there are moments where the frequencies might align, causing the universes to briefly sync up. Since each parallel universe is just slightly different from our own, it's possible that during these moments of synchronicity, we might feel like we've experienced something before because we actually have, just in a different universe. So next time you have deja vu, maybe it's not just a memory glitch, but a glimpse into a parallel world. Number 1. The cold spot. Scientists have been searching for any evidence that could contradict the idea of the hot Big Bang since the discovery of the cosmic microwave background, CMB, almost 60 years ago. Despite the advancements in technology and observation that allow us to see further than ever before, every prediction made by the Big Bang Theory has been confirmed. The universe's expansion and how it changes over time have been measured and found to be in line with physical cosmology's predictions. The CMB's spectrum was found to be the most perfect black body ever seen in the universe. The initial cosmic abundances of the light elements and their isotopes were determined and agreed with the predictions of Big Bang nucleosynthesis, and the formation of large-scale structure and the growth of the cosmic web matched the Big Bang's predictions without exception. But with the launches of WMAP and Planck, the small-scale imperfections in the CMB were measured, and one anomaly stood out: a cold spot that simply couldn't be explained based on the universe we knew. The cold spot, which spans 1.8 billion light-years and is colder than expected, also appears to contain 20% less matter than it should. Scientists are trying to understand why it exists. One theory is that a parallel universe collided with our own through quantum entanglement, causing energy to be forced out of the area and resulting in the creation of the cold spot. If you were given the opportunity to travel to a different universe where only one thing was different from our own, what change would you choose to see? Let us know in the comments below.